What if I told you that the biggest obstacle to your success isn't your skills, your resources, or even your luck? It's something far more surprising, and it's something that you're doing to yourself. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me, because once you see it, you can change it. Hi, I'm John Ryan. I'm a master trainer and coach, and I've been in training development for nearly 3 decades. And I want you to think for a moment. Have you ever set a big goal, felt super motivated at first, but somehow found yourself procrastinating, avoiding the work, or even convincing yourself it wasn't worth it in the first place? This is the silent killer of success, self-sabotage. Now, let's talk about what self-sabotage really is. Most people think it's about laziness or a lack of discipline, but that's not it at all. Self-sabotage is actually the result of an internal conflict. It's your brain trying to protect you for something it sees as a threat. In this sense, self-sabotage isn't the enemy, it's a misguided defense mechanism. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of success, or the discomfort of stepping outside your comfort zone, your brain is trying to keep you safe. It's saying, what if this doesn't work out? What if I look foolish? What if this changes everything? That fear triggers behaviors that hold you back, even when you're consciously trying to move forward. Think about it this way. Imagine that you're driving a car and you've got one foot pressing hard on the gas because you're excited to reach your goal, but at the same time, your foot is also pressing hard on the brake. You're putting all this effort in, but you're not really going anywhere. And the harder you push, the more frustrated you feel, and that's exactly what self-sabotage does. It creates this tug of war between your desire to grow and your fear of change. So how do you know if self-sabotage is in your work life? Well, it's not always obvious. It can show up in sneaky, subtle ways. Let's talk about 3 common patterns of self-sabotage that might be holding you back. First up is procrastination, but not the Netflix binging kind. This is the procrastination that's disguised as waiting for the right moment. Maybe you're telling yourself, I'll start this project when things calm down, or I'll launch my idea once everything is perfect. The truth is that there's no perfect moment, and waiting is often just fear wearing a clever disguise. The second one is overpreparing. This one feels productive, doesn't it? You convince yourself that you just need to read one more book, take one more course, or fine-tune your plan one more time before you start. But at some point, overpreparing becomes a way to avoid taking real action. It's like running drills over and over again, but never stepping onto the field. And the third one is talking yourself out of opportunities before you even try. This might sound like, I'm not ready, I don't have enough experience, or someone else will do it better. It's that inner voice convincing you to play it safe, even though deep down, you know that you're capable. Take a moment to think about these patterns. Do any of these sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. Almost everyone experiences self-sabotage in one form or another. The key is recognizing it when it shows up so you can do something about it. In fact, let's shift how we think about self-sabotage for a moment. It's obviously easy to see it as the enemy, the thing that's holding you back and stopping you from reaching your goals. But what if it's not the enemy at all? What if self-sabotage is actually a signal? Think about it. Your inner critic isn't trying to harm you. It's just afraid of what might happen if you fail, or if you succeed, or step too far outside of your comfort zone. It's like having an overprotective friend saying, hey, are you sure you're ready for this? The trick is learning to recognize that voice and redirect it. You don't have to silence it, you just have to guide it. And here's the thing, self-sabotage is a natural part of being human. We all have fears, doubts, and moments when we hold ourselves back. The good news is that you don't have to stay stuck. Once you see self-sabotage for what it really is, a signal, not an obstacle, you can start to move forward in a whole new way. So how do you move past self-sabotage? It starts with simple, practical steps you can use right away. Let me walk you through 3 strategies that can make a big difference. First, name the fear. Take a moment to ask yourself, what am I really afraid of here? Is it fear of failure, fear of rejection, or maybe fear of change? Let me give you an example. A client of mine wanted to start their own business, but every time they started to plan and take action, she would get stuck. And as we dug deeper, we found out that she wasn't afraid of failing. It was the fear of judgment from others if things didn't work out. Naming that fear helped her shift her focus from worrying about others' opinions to focusing on her own goals. The second thing you can do is take small steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming, and that overwhelm can trigger self-sabotage. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, break your goals into smaller, manageable actions. Let's say, for example, that you want to write a book. Instead of stressing over the entire thing, commit to writing 1 page a day. 1 page may not sound like much, but over time, those small steps add up, and before you know it, you've got a whole draft. Progress builds momentum, and momentum beats perfection every time. The third one is build accountability. Share your goals with someone that you can trust, whether it's a friend, a mentor, a coach, someone who can encourage you and hold you accountable. I have dozens and dozens of tools in my coaching toolbox, everything from hypnosis to NLP to timeline techniques and quantum linguistics. And despite all those tools, sometimes I feel the most powerful tool of all is simply being in someone's corner. Create the accountability and support that you need to make sure that you face these challenges head on. And here's the most important thing to remember. Even small changes can make a big difference over time. The key is to start. You don't need to have it all figured out today. You just need to take the first step, because once you take that step, the next one gets easier. And before you know it, you'll look back and you realize just how far you've really come. And if you really want to have a better understanding on why we self-sabotage, check out this next video on screen. Until next time, develop yourself, empower others, and lead by example.